Hello and welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with your friends and get your gaming goodness every Monday at 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I'm Ashley Hobley, and joining me today on the couch is Ciaran Marchant.
Hello, I am here, back in the sweet streets of Vice City with all the latest news.
Yes, sure. On today's episode, we will be talking about Grand Theft Auto, which has made a major dent in the gaming industry. Talking about what else we got? Bungie having some layoffs and what's coming out in July. But obviously we'll start off with Grand Theft Auto, which pre-offer orders they were announced last week. They are now live. But with the pre-orders, a number of factors have been revealed. Number one, the price of the game, which is, did I put that one? Where did I put that tab? Well, it's $129.95 for the base game and the $159.95 for the Ultimate Edition. A lot of people are saying that's high, but just had a quick look. Like Wolverine is currently available for pre-order on eBay for $124.95.
I guess it'll be a bit cheaper because eBay is always recommended. Like eBay's always recommended retail price, and then if you go to JB and stuff, they're always like.
I mean, Amazon's got it at $125, I think.
Yeah.
At the moment. But it is obviously on the higher end of the scale.
100%.
Which isn't surprising because it's GTA 6 and they can kind of get away with it.
Yes, 100%.
I guess there's a lot of concern that this is going to give other publishers permission to hit that same price point.
I think the worry is that it sets precedent for like your EA, your Ubisoft, even to some extent Sony, but I think Sony could get away with it a little bit. I think they would get more backlash, depending on the game title. If it's a first party exclusive, I could see it. Like a God of War, I could see them putting that price, and then it puts but it's GTA. We've waited 13 years for this game.
Generations.
You not only get the single player experience, you're getting GTA Online when you're buying this.
Well, that's another thing that's revealed. GTA 6 will be a single player game, at least at launch. There is no talk of any multiplayer or online components.
On the listings on like the PlayStation Store, it said GTA Online included in the game.
No, you get a month of GTA Plus, which is their subscription service that gives you like extra bonus inside the current GTA Online and like access to Rockstar's back catalog.
I don't know. I think
it.
Maybe I speak from a very different position where I'm like, I'm okay with GTA doing this because it's like it is what it is.
Well, they've already set precedents. This is the same formula that they have had done with both GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, where they've released the base game, released a single player experience, everybody plays that, and then down the line, they release, the online component.
Yeah, but it's also the case of like, so maybe for me it's not because I've been, I guess on PlayStation, especially for PlayStation games and console games, because I've been digital only for forever, I've been paying $110 for games, which is fucking ridiculous because it's a digital game. Why is it more expensive than the physical edition when there's less involved in being able to? But that's a whole other story. But for me, it's not that big of a jump up. I know Americans are losing their shit because for America, it's such a big price jump, especially they've gone so recently. They've gone from $50 games to $60 games to now a $70 game. I don't think it's all that much. I think some of the confusion is coming from the difference with the Ultimate one, because a lot of the Ultimate, like the stuff including the Ultimate, some of it is like shops in game.
Yeah.
These like tattoo shots, but I don't think it depends on how it's implemented, right? If on the map there are shop icons, but you can't go into them, and it says you have to buy the Ultimate Edition to gain access, frustrating. I would think that's a bit of a gross practice, and I think that is a little predatory. But if it's just that there's no icon on the map, like
it's just
and it's just
It's a
not
closed shop.
there. Yeah, it's just a closed shop for some people. Like, I think that's completely fine.
You're just gonna not notice until you see somebody
Yeah.
else on their stream
Yeah.
or whatever doing it. So
And like it looked like a lot of the like just reading like some of the descriptions, like they've worked with like special people to do tattoo designs and stuff like that for this shop, for the tattoo shop. So it's like, okay, this is individual, this is different. And fuck anyway, at the end of the day, it's a fucking single player game. Now, if you turn around and tell me that they have locked out all tattoos because of like say it wasn't just an
that was the
individual
only
tattoo shop.
tattoo shop in all of Vice City.
It was the only tattoo shop in only Vice City, and the only way you could get tattoos is to
Have the
buy the
Ultimate
Ultimate
Edition.
Edition. I'll be like, okay, we got a problem there. We have a proper problem there. That's something we need to deal with.
But no, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get your mum tattoos from a variety of different tattoo shops with
100%. Like looking into it, like looking into the game, like I think this game actually, in some ways, I'm already kind of thinking it's going to share itself a lot more with Red Dead Redemption 2 than GTA 5 did with Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, if you look in the Ultimate Edition, it actually describes the game as having chapters, a lot like Red Dead Redemption 2. That different items are going to be available at different chapters throughout the game. So I think that'll be interesting for like how that changes. So I'm sure at different chapters you're going to have access to different things, and you're going to be talking to different people, and you're going to have a different lifestyle for your characters. A lot of this does sound like, as the game, it does sound like it's like, say, like honestly, if you say to people for Red Dead Redemption 2, which I think is the closest comparison, even though it's a GTA game, it's the closest comparison to this game as Rockstar's most recent works as a main title. If you turn around to 90% of people and said, "Hey, do you think this is worth $130?" I think a lot of people would say Red Dead Redemption 2 is. I don't
People
think
who got past the prologue.
people,
Yeah.
but people who enjoyed that, but that's the thing. If you're not going to get past the prologue, you probably shouldn't be buying the game, if that makes sense, or you get a refund or whatever. Like, I guess that's the thing. That is, I hadn't even thought of that. Sorry, that's just for the next point about the.
Well,
the
let's just hit
edition.
on the next point, because this is the one that is set the internet into a tizzy. GTA 6 will not have a disc. You can buy a physical case of the game. It will have a digital code inside. Ciaran, as someone who has been a fervent advocate for the digital future, for hating physical media, want to burn shops to the ground, want to have lots of people unemployed, this must be a big win for you.
I don't think it's a big win, because I still think it's a waste to have a box with the code inside. I don't think it's that much of a big win. Actually, you know what? I think the basis of this decision for Rockstar as a whole isn't necessarily the physical media need to print a disc. I don't think printing a disc is the problem. I think leaks are the problem.
Well, that's a concern.
I think that's the main reason why they've switched to the code, because with a code, even if somebody puts a code into their console, they can't access it until Rockstar flips the switch and goes, yeah, this code is now active and you can access GTA 6. So it's not like I can feel like, people could go into like local game stores or, the back rooms of a Target and get their hands on a GTA. The worst thing that can happen to GTA is because it's such a cultural thing, is for there to be a major leak of story details and character details and game details days before it's launched, because people can just get access to the disc straight away. And I think that is a major part of where Rockstar's coming from this. I think it opens a bunch of problems, like how the fuck does Rockstar and like companies facilitate refunds in Australia was the thing I was just thinking about, because
they don't. That's it. No refund.
But there's got to be. But it's by law that you've got to have a refund policy on products, right? Like,
only if it's faulty.
But if, that's fair. But what
You
if
know?
it is faulty? What if there is a bug with
Well, if it is
the
faulty,
game?
then PlayStation will refund it. I would assume much in the way that it majorly flawed, bugged games in the past. You
So
know?
like your physical media shops, like your Targets, your
Yeah,
whatever, they're free of any
responsibility maybe.
responsibility. Like, is that the
I
case?
guess
Like,
that is a
that's
good question.
like
I mean,
it's a very weird
PlayStation.
one.
I'm sure that to an extent they're taking a lot of the brunt because
Like, it's
if
not the
it's just
first
the code,
time. It's also not the first time games have just had a code in a box. There has been other instances of it,
yeah, I
not
mean,
such a big thing,
it's
but
just because it is the biggest game.
yes.
I am not upset. I feel like because they have announced it so far ahead of time, they have specifically said, "Hey, like every single listing you see for the game, there's going to be no disc in the box. Just so you know, it's going to be digital code." Um, and I think the fact that they've come out and said, "Hey, we're gonna send out the game. We're gonna send your codes a week early. You'll be able to pick them up from the 12th instead of on the 19th. So you can preload your copy of GTA 6, and as soon as the game goes live on the internet, you can start playing." I think, I th- yeah, I've. It's not great. I still love the idea of having physical games in stores, and there's an element of having discs. But I think if this is the move they want to make, I'm not super opposed to it. I think it's a win for. This is going to be good for people who love their digital libraries and want to have everything uh, moving digital. So going forward, I think it's also a big win for children who fool their parents to buying GTA 6 before they've seen what GTA 6 actually is, because they will install that and then their parents are not going to be able to take it away from them. So, big win for them. I think people who are getting upset about um, the fact that they love the only people who should be upset are people who like to have the option to resell their games or trade it in. Those are the only people I
Mhm,
feel like who have some sort of grievance against this move. Anybody
mhm,
else who's going and complaining about it, I think are like not really having a really fair argument. All
mhm.
these people are saying, "Oh, I'm gonna miss the incredible moment of putting the disc into my machine and installing it. That's like a sacred moment for me. It's like really important." Or people who are like, I don't know, what else did I see? People, also the people I've seen people complaining that games aren't just playable straight off the disc, which I think is a dumb thing to say in 2026 when games have been installing for
Installing
years,
updates for over 10 years. Yeah, 100%.
over 10 years. So, um, yeah, I think it is what it is. That's the decision they've gone with. I think still having it available to buy like in a store is still important. I think you only have to look back at Alan Wake 2, which obviously did well, but was digital only and didn't meet the expectations that I believe Remedy had for the game, and that was because people aren't going to the store and buying it. The other one that I saw argument was, oh, I don't own the game, so what if they take GTA 6 offline, take it off the store for me, and then I'm not allowed to play it anymore? It's fucking GTA 6, dude. They're never
That's
going
never
to take
gonna
it off the
happen, but
store.
even in, like, every other instance of games where they've taken off the store, as long as it's in your library, you've been able to re-download those games and
There
still
might
play
be
those
like one or
games.
two, like Concord or something like that, like
Yeah, well, that's Concord.
examples.
That's a big
Yeah,
multiplayer game that's fucking reliant on there being servers
yeah,
involved,
and
and
I
you know.
believe they refunded everybody for that. So
Yeah.
I have absolutely 100% faith as long as there is a PlayStation server or Xbox server, you will have access
Yeah.
to eh,
Mhm.
Grand Theft Auto 6 for perpetuity. I don't
Yeah.
think that should be a concern at all.
Yeah. No,
So
100%.
that
It's,
isn't a valid argument.
I just think it's, sadly, the not the way of the world, but just the way we're going. You look at software as being, if anybody's buying physical software from, like, say, your Microsoft Office or anything like that, all that stuff is a code in a box or a subscription service in a box. It's just the way things are going,
Well, I
sadly.
mean, do they actually print PC games on discs anymore?
No, they haven't in years. I don't
Exactly.
think I think before I think in yeah, I think it's been a very long time
Unless you
since,
specifically order it straight from the The
or something
publisher,
like yeah.
possibly.
But even then, like it's so ridiculous. Like, I think what's so funny now is looking back historically at that dreadful Xbox One conference, and you look at that and you go, "You guys were just 10 years too early." Like
It's a
you,
sliding doors moment.
like you guys were just too early on this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way the industry was going. You know, you look back at the Jim Ryan skit of them trading and borrowing a game. It's like, well, that's now obsolete, not because of Xbox, but just because of the way the industry's going and the way technology's gone. Yeah, I think it's and even like a case of like it's funny. The best like if you want to play GTA on launch, the best possible form you probably would have had to buy a PS5 Pro, which doesn't
Yes.
come with a disc tray.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're going to buy the extra $300 or whatever it is to have a disc tray on it. So
I don't
it's
know if
like
it's $300, but yes, it
probably
might be now.
more.
Who knows? At this point,
It might be. Who knows?
it's got. I'm sure it's got some RAM in there.
Does
Does Drive has RAM?
No,
Probably not.
thank God. PS5 Pro disc drive. Let me just quickly see a price. Okay, $125.
A little bit less than 300.
God, it's so funny. For this game, I am budgeting because I want to literally for GTA 6, right? For the GTA 6, and this is how I think it marked as like a cultural moment. I am budgeting for a brand new TV, a PS5 Pro, and a brand new soundbar at the same time, like leading like GTA 6 is going to be like a $5,000 investment. I'm gonna say roughly, which is so funny thing. But I'm like, plus 2 days off of work I've taken, you know? Like, I think it's such a big thing. Like, it's so funny where it's probably ridiculous for some people to hear me say that, but I'm like, I think maybe for me it's more I haven't bought any TV since I think my TV is like 2017, so almost 10 years. So it's like, you know, it's just a good time to upgrade and to download to upgrade and to be in line with it. Like, I hope this game lives up to it. It'd be so funny if I buy this game, if I buy all this stuff and then like it just doesn't
It
just
doesn't
doesn't hit, doesn't play as well,
Doesn't click.
doesn't click. It'd be so funny. But it's so interesting. I think we've seen so much, even like the box art, even the music they were playing for like the box art reveal. Like everything's real. And it's so fascinating how little of this game
we actually have seen.
we have seen or know about or like anything. It looks like, you know, these characters are going to have different loadouts of different weapons they're going to have accessibility to, because in the Ultimate Edition, they get different guns or at least different weapon skins or different variants of guns. By the sounds of it, you're not going to be like past GTAs. You're not going to be able to carry every single weapon on you at once. You're going to be like you were in Red Dead, picking guns off your horse, grabbing guns out of your boot of your cars, and actually like picking stuff out of your car to use instead of carrying absolutely everything. Like, I'm fascinated by these changes. Like, we're getting them in small drips and drabs of little things, you know, like it's exciting, it's interesting. I just want like, yeah, I'm just excited for like, other than maybe like Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced in July, like I'm just excited for September to come around already, and then September through till October for the games that I'm excited for then, and then into November. That's just GTA 6 all the way.
It is just waiting for the final half of the year pretty much at the moment. So do we think this is like a turning point moment? Like, if this is embraced wholly, may we be moving away from physical media even faster than
I think
we
so.
think?
I still think there will be. I think there'll be something, but I think Ash, have you
Is
been
the backlash all talk?
I think it's all talk. No, I think it's all talk simply because of this. Ash, have you been into an EB Games recently?
No.
Well,
I haven't bought anything from an EB Games.
Haven't bought anything.
Like,
have you walked into an EB Games recently?
Yeah, probably in the last couple of weeks. You know, just window shopping.
What percentage of your EB Games is physical games now?
Oh, maybe a quarter.
I would be lucky.
One wall. plus a bin.
Yeah, 100%. One wall is now. Everything else is pop vinyls, board games, pop culture, like stuff, D&D stuff, peripherals, fucking trading cards. That is what EB Games is now. The physical media section is about 20%, 20 to 25% of that store. So you're telling me that people as a whole are still wanting physical media? I think, to me, that sounds like we've just got a vocal minority of people. Sadly, we've got a vocal minority of people standing up for physical media, but society as a whole has moved well away from physical media.
What I'm reading, one of these articles that we were going through says that financial reports published earlier this year estimated 76 to 80% of all PS5 games in 2025 were digital, which is a high number. But I won't question how much of that is PS Plus games or, the PS Plus catalog is included in that kind of stuff.
Or
Yeah,
free
that seems
downloads, like
or free downloads,
Fortnites and stuff
that
like
kind of
that.
stuff,
Yeah.
Fortnites and that kind of thing. So, how much that plays into those numbers? I guess interesting question is: does anyone think this is a chink in GTA's armor, and they're like, maybe we can like put our physical release out in November and see what Tesla orders. See if we can use that as like a chance to go
God, no, I don't
head
think
with
so.
GTA.
I don't think so. No, I don't know. I don't. Fuck. I think it's gonna be really rough, and I'm gonna get torched if this gets cut out and put as a short. If you, and this I think actually encompasses Dylan, maybe. If you're not going to buy GTA 6 now because it doesn't have a physical disc, you weren't really that excited for GTA 6. You weren't really that into GTA 6 to begin with to want it. I think at the end of the day, discs nowadays, to be honest, discs a lot of the time are just a code on a disc. And you're
They are
installing
a digital key. That's it.
Yeah, they're a digital key to be able to access the game, and then there is a patch that downloads most of the game upon first install into the console. I think it's the same thing. I think at some point, people saying, "Oh, I want to," on the day where they don't have the downloads anymore, I can just put my disc in. Yeah, but it's like, okay,
Yeah, move back to 2002.
2000, like it's like, okay, developers nowadays have so it's like, okay, so you're wanting to play an unpatched version of the game that you don't have a download for the, like, because like this is maybe my ignorance. I don't know if in later, I don't want to say reprints of discs, do they update which version of the game is on the disc, or is it forever the initial
I can't
version of
imagine
the
they
game? Like, I can't imagine they would either. So it's like, okay, so we're forever just, yeah, we're in a developing world now that is patches day one, patches even before day one. There's a fucking patch for the game that you've pre-installed that isn't out for another week. Like, I think there is so much. I think it's just a progression thing that's like, okay, we're just complaining for the sake of complaining, but at the same time, it is what it is.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I think companies like your JB Hi-Fi's, your EB Games, people that 10, 15 years ago were focused on physical medias of video games, CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays. If you go into those stores in 2026, they have all started to pivot away. JB Hi-Fi has moved into being white goods, suddenly washing machines and vacuums, and they've still got their TV ranges, sure, and they've still got their DVD section, but I can tell you what, JB Hi-Fi does not give a fuck about that portion of its business. It will, I saw the other day, I think it's JB Hi-Fi, and I don't know, I'll have to ask somebody, but like, has JB Hi-Fi now like started their own like telephone plans and stuff, like mobile phone plans and stuff like that?
I think they've had that for a while. Like,
little while,
it's like
but yeah, I've seen it advertised
or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen it. Like, I think these businesses, for better or worse, have already started pivoting away. Yes, some businesses aren't being saved by it. I don't think we'll have EB Games in Australia within the next 5 years. I think, sadly, that company will be gone within 5 years. Much like it's just shut itself down in New Zealand and everything and turned away. I think And I think 5 years is really fucking generous, to be perfectly honest. Um, yeah, it
Yeah.
sucks, but
Yeah, I guess, like, could this be the last generation of reselled games,
100%, I think so.
That just
Yeah.
kind of, if this is where we're going, that changes a lot of people's budgeting and planning of what video games they're gonna buy, and maybe,
Yep. The
people take
idea
less
of
risks.
the idea of this is it, and I understand when it's for a budgetary, right? When people say, "I'm gonna wait for a sale," understand when it's for a budgetary reason where it's just you need it to be cheaper. But at the same time, I hate the idea of I'm going to wait for a sale because because it's like, okay, you're part of the reason why companies are getting shut down. Because if you've got the ability to buy a game at full price and you think that game has the ability of working well for you, like you know you're going to enjoy that game. Yeah, I guess you don't know, but it's
But
like
is that the game's fault or you know, the developer's fault? They're not selling the game well enough to make you wanna buy it. Must have buy it game
no,
day
because I
one.
think there's still stuff that people are like, oh, I'll just wait for it on sale. I'll just wait for it. I can wait a bit longer
I
until
think there
it's
are
not full
people who are
price. Some games very
willing to
valid
just
for
wait.
Crimson Desert. Probably should have waited for that, and people like myself use the refund button if you didn't
Yeah.
like that game. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think as I've preached to my people at work when I've talked about GTA 6, like GTA 6 is a cultural moment for video games and for this portion of society, and we see that in more ways than one from in more ways than one. But I also think I don't think it's going to be as big. I think yes, this change will be a big change. I think other people will start also not providing a disc, and some developers at first will make a big thing out of providing a disc.
I
Um,
think it's not surprising Sony, or at least Insomniac have said Wolverine's got a disc.
yeah, 100%. They're going to use that as a selling point for now. Cool, but also eventually those companies will also be discless. Um, it's yeah, it just I don't know what else to say. I think it's I don't think, but sorry, that's what I was going to say. But I think if an EA, for the pricing wise, if EA or Ubisoft or somebody that isn't like a proper fucking juggernaut of a game decides to try and slap this price point on their game, that's going to be an outrage and that game's going to do very poorly. I think if Call of Duty comes out and Call of Duty tries to slap this price on itself, Microsoft is a fucking idiot. Like
Killing that
even
franchise.
yeah, it would continue to be Microsoft taking one step forward and then 6 steps back if they were to do something like that. I think out of any of them, I think Sony would do it. I think Sony would do it with a God of War. I don't know about Laufey, but like with a mainline God of War game, I could see them doing that.
Yeah, potentially like the next Kratos game or the next Spider-Man game, potentially like something they
Yeah.
know is a hit, guaranteed like buy, or Last of Us Part 3 or something like that, hitting that price point. Price point wise, I think it just purely comes down to game and scale. And I feel like how far you feel like you can push that, and how far you can raise the price without it feeling gamers feeling shorted. So I suspect it will be purely games like GTA 6, which are massive open world, 60, 70 plus hour titles that people will spend a bunch of time in. Um, so maybe a Fable, maybe the next Elder Scrolls, um, definitely the next Witcher game. Those will be the price point. But unless things keep going up exponentially, I can't see this becoming the standard for video games. Um, Disc wise, I think we are still a long way away, just because of the amount of backlash, and it will be interesting to see, like, if in a crazy world where this does underperform their expectations, will they look back and go, "Was this a mistake?"
The thing is, I think if they look back and they go, "Was this a mistake?" They'll then just release a disc. Like they'll then just release a disc, but they'll also go and turn around and go, if people don't go buy a disc, it's then going to be the biggest like "I told you so" from Rockstar.
Yeah. So, yeah, another 4.5 months to wait. until
What version are you buying, Ashley? And are you gonna bother going to a store, or are you just gonna buy digitally?
I will get whatever's cheapest. And at the moment, that is at Amazon. So, we'll see the week off, like what pricing wise. Like, will there be much bringing down a price? Probably not in comparison to what, like, physical media. A lot of the stores will drop it like
Mm-hmm.
$10, $15 to get your sale. So, are they really going to care that much? Because again, it's going to be interesting. Like inventory wise, like could Rockstar just turn around and go, "You've got a bunch of cases, just print a cover, stick it in there, print out the code." Should I? Actually going to
I
send out physical, like proper
don't see
printed?
them doing that. I don't think.
I think probably.
It would look horrible if they did.
Yeah.
I think that would just be a really bad look.
Are they going to print the code like on the actual inside the box cover? Or is it going to?
No, it's
No,
gonna be on
I
a
guess it would be
card.
like the usual pamphlet thing, like
Yeah.
a lot of like your DLC codes that are in the box. So, um, but yeah, I will probably get like a physical copy just to have like the actual case, even though it will be meaningless. Although a lot of people speculating that maybe they'll put like the map in there, which will be like a harken back to a lot of the other GTA games. So that's something, at least
Mhm.
something to justify getting a physical copy. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this backlash sticks till it actually comes out, or it just dies off in the next week when the news cycle moves to something else. So yeah. All right. Next on the agenda, Bungie unfortunately has had a bunch of layoffs. So unsurprisingly, reading from Press Start, following Bungie ceasing active support for Destiny 2 last month, and with the studio still in incubation stages for future projects, it has reorganized its workforce, leading to significant layoffs. Worst hits is the Destiny team, which has all been but disbanded. The team handling Marathon, the studio's live service extraction shooter, has struggled to gain traction in the market, has also seen some redundancies. Studio head Justin Truman, who succeeded Pete Parsons last year, has stood down from his post. Poria Torkin, Bungie's former VP of operations and a former guerrilla producer, has stepped into the role. Bungie took to X to issue the following statement. With great sadness, we announce a reduction in force as we reorganize Bungie. As leaders of Bungie past and present, we recognize Destiny 2 fell short of expectations these past several years. Following our final content update to Destiny 2 and with future projects still in early incubation, we unfortunately could not continue operating at our previous size. We know this decision has a profound impact on the people affected, their family, friends, and teammates. While these changes are necessary to best position the studio now and for the future, that does not lessen the difficulty of this moment or the impact it has for those affected. Later, we will share more about that future with you all, but today is not that day. Today, we wish to extend our gratitude and compassion to every member of the Bungie team who has been impacted and to those who remain. We hope you will do the same. Um, Unsurprising, I would say, based on the trajectory of Bungie,
Marathon.
of Destiny, like shutting down and
Mhm.
Marathon underperforming. It's not a huge surprise, but also still sad.
Yes, I think for those that played it, Destiny had a very special place in people's heart. People connected with the characters. They connected with the world that is in it. There is people with connections with that game where it's like the last work that Lance Reddick, yep, was on that game. Like his voice is very special for the players of Destiny. So to now be at a point where that's gone, and then Marathon hasn't been the success um that Sony wanted it to be and desire it to be. Um, I think Destiny, like Bungie as a company, is in a very unfortunate spot where I think the only, pardon me, I think the only time other than when Bungie was originally owned by Xbox, the only time Bungie succeeded is when it's been independent. It's it's purchased by Activision, went terribly. It's purchased by Sony, has gone terribly. Um, I'm very worried for Bungie. I could almost see Bungie going down the route of just becoming a support studio for any of Sony's other companies, other studios that want to work on a shooting game of any kind.
I know. I feel like if you're going down that direction, why would you get rid of all this massive manpower?
Because I don't think you need that many people to do that.
Yeah, maybe.
I think like the Bungie stuff was fucking huge.
Yeah.
Bungie's like the studio. I don't think we'll ever see like that studio side's massive for it. Like I think they had like 800 staff or something.
Yeah.
Which yeah, when they're going through what they're going through with Marathon, that just seems far too many.
According to Wikipedia, last estimate was 500 employees as of just recently. But that may have that looks like that looks like it might be the most recent. Yeah, that's the most recent number.
Okay.
500. Looks like they've laid off 300 people, unfortunately. I think, is very disappointing, but obviously they've got some, it sounds from the look of it, they've got some other projects that they've like starting to work on. I believe there's talk of like a marathon PvE mode being in development or rumored. So, trying to keep that going. I feel like ultimately, I think PlayStation need Bungie to work just because they spent so much money on them. It's like if they I know they've had a couple of studios that they've bought and they've shut down before even they've released a game, but Bungie, if they can't make them work after they spent $3.5 billion, I think there'll be a lot of questions raised as to, why they made the moves at the time they made them and that kind of thing. Like obviously it was on the end of their live service push. But I feel like, there's enough talent there that could put out maybe at least for PlayStation, like a big first person shooter, or something like that. So I think, hopefully this is just a bump in the road, like a really sad, tragic bump in the road for Bungie, but brighter things are down the line. We can only hope. All right.
Yeah.
This week, the Steam machines have finally been revealed, I guess, or prices have come out and you can join the wish list if you like. There are two versions of the Steam machine. There's a 512 gigabyte version that is 1,609 Australian dollars, or there is a 2 terabyte version, which is $2,109. You can also add a controller, which is like $119 on top of that for each version. Ciaran, you're more tech familiar with all these random numbers. Is this worth money?
I think, sadly, this is we're just continued, like as a community of video game enjoyers. I think we continue to get fucked by AI and the RAMs. I believe that Valve had this in mind to be initially like an $800 to $900 US console. And
competitive to the consoles.
Competitive to the consoles, a good bridge between console and computer. Yeah, I think this was at that price point, and if this had been at that price point, would have been fucking amazing. Would have been stellar. Sadly, this price just pushes it into territories of slightly cheaper entry computer. Sadly, it's yeah. I look. My first pice of advice to anybody listening.
Does it compare to that though?
Spec wise, it does. I think they both will run well for video games as a whole point. I would say spec wise, advice for everybody listening: if you are to go on a wait list, please don't bother going on the 2 terabyte wait list. I don't think it is that. It certainly is not worth you spending $600 more for 1.5 terabytes of storage. That math does not work out. In Australia,
surely you can like stick on like external disc.
You would think at some point there would be a way just to upgrade it yourself. I look, and also, so anybody who put in a wait list when it first came out, and I literally did mine the moment I woke up that morning. You actually probably would have received an email yesterday to confirm, because apparently the way they ran it, which I think is a really good way they did it, is everybody signed up for like a lottery ticket, and then everybody got randomed. And if you randomed, you got yourself a console. If you didn't, you're on a wait list. I'm sadly on a wait list. I was not lucky for a 512 with a Steam controller, because I'm still waiting on a Steam controller as well at the moment from when that initially was announced.
Those are in very high demand as well. Like,
those are incredibly in high demand. They reckon they're not going to get the next wave of them until 2027.
yeah,
But what we're seeing as a whole is, I think these are great consoles. I was so excited to like chuck this on my TV in my bedroom. I was so excited just to be able to like just have my Steam library to be accessible from either my bedroom or from my lounge would be so good. So I think from my point of view, like, it's a great thing. Like, I think it would be cheaper. I would give my dad one of these and be like, hey, have access to my fucking 900 games. I think Steam is the best platform in video games, so to get that in more people's hands would have been wonderful. To have this at a cost price that is more closer to what we want to pay for a console, or what people want to pay in consoles to get in the door, would be fantastic. But sadly, I think at this price point, the Steam machine sadly stops from being an entry point into the Steam marketplace, and is just for people who are already either big fans of Steam or want to be fans of Steam and have the capital and money to be able to get it and play it.
yeah, it's definitely interesting to see who at this price point this is for, and I guess it has to be for people who are invested in the ecosystem, who want to play their games on the TV and don't want to move their gaming computer. You know, which I'm sure there is a sizable dedicated market. I'm sure also in this audience are just people who love Steam or love Valve and who are buying this because it is the next Valve thing. I feel like, interestingly, that is probably a large portion of the people who have at least so far put their names down for this. Whether they'll fight, they're playing chicken with the price. Like, when push comes to shove, they're actually going to pull the trigger, is another thing. But I think the ongoing RAM scarcity has fucked them severely here.
Fuck AI, honestly. Honestly, AI can go fuck itself. I'm actually so angry.
Just slow down till you start figuring how to, make it work better.
Just fucking don't eat all the RAM in the world,
Yeah.
Like, it's so frustrating looking at consoles, looking at anything that requires RAM. I bought my PC at like the perfect time.
Mm-hmm.
If I had left my PC last year for like a month later, I would have been so much more expensive, and it would have been so much more annoying to buy.
Yeah.
I just think we're in a shit spot at the moment, and it's just impacting. So that's why I do hope the next console generation delays itself a little bit until this kind of thing works itself out.
Surely they need to.
Yes.
It's crazy. Like, I think this week they also announced the next, what was it? Hang on. The MSI Claw 8 was announced, or had pre-orders opens. That's like $2,000 for a 1 terabyte handheld. That's $2,749, which is mental.
Insane.
Who's going to pay that? Like, so you would recommend someone buying if you're interested in entry-level gaming PC over the Steam machine?
No.
No?
I don't think at the minute you buy anything.
You don't buy anything. You just
I think don't buy
do
anything
what you
at the
have.
moment. just hold still. No, I think it largely depends, right? Like, what do you want out of it? I think if you want the living room experience, if you want to experience Steam, but you're a console gamer, get the Steam machine. I think it is it is a good device on paper. Like, it is a good device. Only get the 512. Please don't bother about getting 2 terabytes. The price difference, as I said, is fucking ridiculous. But on top of it, like, just yeah, I wouldn't go buying a PC at the moment either. Like graphics cards, like the fact that Nvidia has like put a hold on their marketing teams and everything to do with graphics cards at the moment is enough to show that like even those companies are like, we can't be doing anything about this right now. So, um, yeah, I think, and that's the thing, right? The Steam machine. If you wanted a Steam machine, you had to have kind of. I think you're past the point of being able to get one. I think you're gonna have to wait for a while, like it did level out a little bit with the Steam Deck. Um,
I mean, here's the other thing. This could be the cheapest point at which you can buy a Steam
100%, it could
machine.
be.
It could go the other
100%.
way. Continue to go
It
the other
could
way.
do what Steam did. Yeah, at least it doesn't have a screen involved, so it's not like you're gonna get screwed by having the OLED or anything on it. Yeah. It's just a weird time. Just a weird time, sadly. I
It
think
is a really bad time to be dropping hardware, unfortunately.
yeah. And I think that's what Steam. Like, that's what delayed. Like Steam was going to originally like put this out like the end of last year, and I think it put them in a shit spot of them being like, oh, okay, this AI stuff's happening, RAM prices through the roof. What the fuck are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the best situation from what they could do. From all accounts, this Steam controller is absolutely fucking fantastic. Like I've heard reviews like it's better than a DualSense. So yeah, I think they're in the right spot. They're doing good things with hardware. Steam is it's a good platform to trust your money in. It's just a time period. It's just a place and time at the moment that we're struggling.
Yep. Quick tidbits: Xbox Series X and S consoles are also getting a price rise because fuck AI. How much are they going up? That would be helpful. All right, so they're rising the prices. The 512 gigabyte S will go up to about 700 Australian. The 1 terabyte to about 800. The Series X 1 terabyte will go to 1,050, and Series X digital will go up to about $1,000. They are also discontinuing the 2 terabyte Series X. So if you can find a 2 terabyte Series X, now's the time to buy it. Is pretty much the same because the prices are going up August 1st.
Yeah.
So continued not good news for people who want hardware. So yeah, now is the worst time, but also the best time to buy your hardware, your gaming hardware. All right, last thing for this week, let's go over all the games that are coming out in July. Of course, we're reading from our article over on explosionnetwork.com. I'll read through, and Ciaran, you just stop me when anything catches your fancy. July 1st, we've got Monopoly, Star Wars Villains and Heroes. July 2nd, we've got Attack on Titan 3 and Avatar Legends, the fighting game. That's on July 3rd, as well as Rhythm Heaven Groove coming to Switch 2. On July 4th, the National Parks update comes to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. July 8th, Moonlight Peaks and Doom The Dark Ages Revelations DLC, as well as Elder Scrolls Online Return of the Thieves Guild, all dropping on the 8th. On the 9th, we've got Backyard Baseball, the Gun Vault Chronicles Luminous Adventure 1X 1+2 Dual Collection. People know what that is. July 10th, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced.
Oh, actually, yeah. It's like the only thing I'm like looking at, and I'm like, yeah, that's a valid thing to
That's
do.
like, I've only like briefly run through this list, but I feel like that is possibly the biggest game releasing in July.
Yeah, 100%. I feel the same
which
way.
is crazy.
Yes.
Also coming on July 10th, we've got Echoes of Aincrad, Power World 1.0.
Actually, Echoes of Aincrad looks great as well.
Yeah.
So Echoes of Aincrad is the game set on Sword Art Online, on the original Aincrad, like the original season of Sword Art Online. You play as people who are stuck in the game. You're not anything to do with the actual people of The anime, you are just playing through what that game was set up and everything at the time. So that actually is like something I'm curious about jumping into.
Interesting. They need to put the Sword Art Online bigger font.
Yes.
That'd help it sell better. On July 13th, The Alters Last Variable is a DLC coming. Ascend to Zero is another game that's coming out. July 14th, The Mound Omen of Cthulhu, Detopia, Tito are all coming out. July 16th, we got Denshatak, Ratatan, Storebound. What else is coming out this month? 17th of July, we've got Cul-de-Sac Begins, Funnel Runners, Eve Ho, K-pop Idols Road to Debut, The Mermaid Mask. I mean, lots of indie titles dropping in July. July 18th, we got Sky, Children of the Light, Dear Van Gogh. That looks interesting. Fog Piercer, Desktop Explorer. On July 21st, we got Drone Sector coming to early access. Fading Echo. I've seen that somewhere, but I can't quite place it. That looks got an interesting art style, at least in thumbnail. 22nd July, we got Scarlet Deer in Dewdrop Dynasty. 23rd, we've got Gurai, High Times, Dating Cooking Sim. 24th of July, Desega, Mayhem, Splatoon Raiders. That's probably one of the other bigger releases of the month. Single player Splatoon game coming to Switch 2. Also, Dodo Ducky.
Not to pick on your
delivery.
Your delivery of. I've never heard somebody put so much emphasis on the splat part of Splatoon.
Splatoon.
That's how you say it.
How do you say it?
Splatoon.
Splatoon.
Like it's just I don't know. Like it just
tomato.
Like, yeah, it is. It's just very hard emphasis on the A. That's all.
Splatoon. Splatoon. Tormentum 2 is coming out on the 24th as well. 25th, an extremely hard game. The Goose Game that was at Some Games Fest.
Mm-hmm.
July 29th, Halo Campaign Evolved. Is this one going to be?
That's actually pretty big.
That's
month, pretty big. It's such a weird spot as well. It's just the end of the month. We're just slapping it in there. Should be good. It'll be good just to jump in and go back to the Halo. It'll be funny for PlayStation fans to get here, play some Halo before it's never on your console ever again. I'm excited to play through it and just have a bit of fun with it.
Mm-hmm. You're also getting on the 29th Space Imperia 4X. On 30th July, you got Reader, which was a Australian word-based puzzle game we saw on PAX a couple of years ago. That was a little fun indie title. Exterior also coming on the 30th, as well as Mistfall Hunter, Blue Reflection Quartet, Hyperstacks, Tuxton Extreme, Kusan, City of Wolves, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is getting that's second of the Switch 2 releases from that franchise releasing. Then you got Truck Kun is Supporting Me from Another World. The Relic, First Guardian. How many dudes? Good question. The last one. Yeah. A very light month. But that's good because there's a bunch of games to catch up on in July.
Or you can restart playing Final Fantasy 14 again. That's an option.
You could.
As well.
Is that what you're doing?
You could. I have been doing that.
Why not? July is a bit of a dry month, unless one of these indie games hits. You also finished 007 First Light. Do you want to give final thoughts?
I did. Yeah, I love it. I loved the story of it. I love Bond in this game. It's a great Bond game. Sure, I could be without some of the driving sections. Maybe some of the action kind of sections towards the end gets a little bit too much, a little bit too many guys to shoot. But it does the pacing of the Bond story so well in terms of you get to the point where you think it's the end of the game and there's always that, last act that comes out of nowhere and propels you forward with it. I think it's written really well. It plays lovely. It's a fantastic game, and I think very deserving of being in the talks for nominations for Game of the Year. It'll be nice to have it there while GTA claims the prize.
Fighting for second place is what we're all thinking.
Yeah, 100%. It is. Yes, is the general thought. And also, like, quickly, like, shout out because I just thought about it when I opened up Steam just a second ago. If I don't know if you ever played it, Ash. Did you ever play Papers, Please?
No, but
No,
I've seen a bit of it. Yes.
seen a bit of it. Okay, Papers, Please. Its spiritual successor came out in the last week. Thank you for your application. If you never played Papers, Please was a game where you operated as a checkpoint officer in like a civil war bound country, and it was your job to kind of approve people coming into the country. And there were storylines going on about corruption and different people you would meet throughout the way, and it was your job to kind of check their paperwork, follow the rules of each day, and let it go through, and make sure you and your family were surviving, and everything with it. Thank you for your application is a follow-up to that where you are an employee of a capitalistic company that kind of runs the world, and everybody eventually has to, like, the dream is to get through to working for this company, and you failed at getting the actual job to be in the company, but you got a job as an interviewer. And it tackles a lot of the same kind of points in a lot of ways as Papers, Please. It's fantastic in terms of its gameplay of adding different rules and making it a little bit more complicated every day, and you're working out, okay, have people got references? Do they have their psych evaluations? Making sure it's all matches up, checking your data to make sure they haven't like forged a company sigil of a different company on the paperwork. And it's a lot of fun. The character style is a bit more of like an anime style, but it's absolutely fantastic. I think it was only something like $20 or something on Steam.
Currently sitting at 23.64, 60% off on Steam at the moment.
Yeah, so it is. It's very fun. It is something well worth the time to play. It'd be a great Steam Deck game. Something to jump into if you're looking for something random just to play for a bit.
Yeah. All right, let us know what you thought of anything we talked about on today's episode of Arcade Couch by going to explosionera.com/follow. If you want to help us out here at Arcade Couch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser, leave us 5 stars. You can leave 5 stars or just tell people about the show. And if you want to help us at Explosion Network with all our other podcasts and all our written content, head on over to explosionera.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you here next week, same time, same couch. Bye.